guys, welcome back to Ashar Books. So today I thought I'd do kind of a different video and one I've been wanting to do for a little bit. So I've mentioned before that my mom is a really big reader, and she's always reading something, and obviously that definitely influenced me when I was younger, wanting to read and just kind of the love of reading. But my grandma on my dad's side actually, which is funny because my dad is not a reader, but my grandma loved reading. She was such a huge reader. She was always reading something, and in particular she was a really big romance reader, and she always had just like books on her coffee table stacked up, you know, your typical romance books. And I love that she really did not care or give one iota what anyone else thought about her reading a romance, especially because, you know, back in the day the covers were not necessarily as kind of you know, illustrated and cute as they are today. They were definitely more of your traditional romance covers that had, you know, sweeping scenes and couples embracing and things like that. And so I love that about her. She was an amazing person, and unfortunately she passed away last year. So one of the things that I did ask if I could have some of was her books, just kind of as something to remember her by. And I just thought it would be really cool to read something that I knew that she had read, because a lot of these are kind of older school romances and authors that I haven't picked up yet. So what I thought I'd do today is kind of just go through and show you some of the books that I got from her. I have quite a few, honestly, but I'm just going to kind of show you a few of the ones that I'm either really excited to pick up and I'm like probably going to pick up in the next little bit, or ones that just have, honestly, really crazy and amazing covers. So I thought it might be kind of fun to look at since they are kind of old school romance covers. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on that front, but you know, they're like the tradition, you know, they're where everything came from. It's where romance started. And hey, I think we need to give props to those women, or men, who knows, who were reading romances back when they had these crazy covers and not the nice illustrated cutesy ones that a lot of us today have, because that took some more gumption, I suppose, to, you know, read that, because you know it's a romance from like the cover. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. I've kind of been putting it off a little bit, but I really wanted to share some of the books that I got from her and just kind of share some of her favorites with you guys. She's also somebody that really liked to trade in her books, so typically she would take her paperbacks to like a used bookstore and get credit for them, so she wasn't someone who liked to keep them around. So the ones that were on her shelf were like favorites. They were like her keeper shelf, and so it just kind of, to me, makes them that much more special, and why I was very fortunate and very happy that I was able to get a few of her favorites. So the first two were probably the two that I'm most excited to actually like read, because I feel like they're just like classics in the romance genre. Everybody kind of knows them or knows the title, but I have not picked them up, and that is The Flame and the Flower by Kathleen, and also The Wolf and the Dove by the same author. I think these books are really beautiful, honestly. They've got kind of illustrated cover on the front. It's not too crazy. It's got like the red on the side, and these are from 1972, I think I looked at. So I just think they're really special. These two are just, for some reason, the two that I really want to pick up. I think they're also in really great shape, so she definitely took care of her books. So this one follows someone who's like a captain, and I know it has a crazy plot, like it's kind of crazy, but he's like a captain and a girl gets kind of like kidnapped, and she goes from poverty to like wealth, I think. I could be getting this wrong. I just really want to try this one out. It sounds awesome. And then this one, I didn't realize until I read the back, it actually takes place in 1066, which I have not read any book set in 1066, because it has to do with like Norman invaders and all of that lovely stuff. So I don't know too much about really most of these, if I'm being honest. I have read the back for a lot of them, but I'm just kind of going off the fact that, and also these are Avons, and they were $1.95 when they were purchased. So I just think these are the two, I don't know, kind of more special for some reason. I really like these, and I do want to pick these up soonish. So next are a bunch of books by Julie Garwood, who is another author who's very well known in the romance genre. And I actually haven't bought any. I have a few that I already had from her, but these were some of my grandma's. She has The Gift, which has a great cover. I think it's very 80s. I liked it. Then we have this set, which kind of has all the same cover theme. So we have The Prize, which I've heard of. I'm pretty sure this is one of her kind of more famous books, or well-known, I guess. We have The Lion's Lady. Again, same cover theme. And Gentle Warrior. So I'm not sure if they're all in the same, like, series, or if they're just the same covers because they're like by the same publisher or whatever, but I definitely want to try out some Julie Garwood. I know a lot of people like The Bride from her. She didn't actually have that one in her collection, so I may have to pick that one up separately, but I definitely want to try and pick up at least something from Julie Garwood. So next are some books from Judith McNaught, and so you can kind of see a theme. She definitely had her favorite authors that she kept. I think all of us have that, those ones that you just can't part with those books. And they are from Judith McNaught, which I actually have read a couple of things from Judith McNaught, but not these, I'm pretty sure. This one is Almost Heaven, which has kind of just like a floral cover with your traditional kind of like mass market like lettering on it. And then Something Wonderful, again by Judith McNaught. And this one, which is I think one of the ones that I know of the most from her, and that is Whitney, My Love. And it has a great cover, and it's definitely very well loved. It's a little bit ripped, and there's some tape on the back, but to me it just means this was a very well loved book. So you got a couple on the front, you got like them on a horse on the back. Hopefully you can see that because it's something. So this is the one that out of the ones from Judith McNaught I'll probably pick up, just because it kind of looks like it's the most loved. It's also one I'm kind of more familiar with, so I'll probably be picking this one up sometime. So then we have a bunch of books by Kathleen E. Widowis, which is the author from the first two that I showed you, but these, they kind of switched in the 80s to more of like a thick book, like a regular sized book rather than the mass markets. So these were a few. I actually have a few more, but I just picked some that I really liked the cover for. And so these were a few more. We have A Rose in Winter, which has this cover. And I believe all of these were from like the early to like mid 80s when I looked at the dates for them. And then we have this one, which is called, oh my gosh, I can't read that. Okay, So Worthy, My Love, and it does have a step back. So let me show you the step back. Bam. It's actually a really pretty step back. I actually really like that one. And a few of these, it's funny because they kind of didn't do step backs all the time back in the day. But the ones that are there are really pretty. So then we have a couple that are actually a little newer. These are from the 90s, and I actually already owned like one of these myself. And we have The Elusive Flame, which has a pretty, you know, pretty calm cover. And then Petals, is that right? Yeah, Petals on the River, which again, they kind of have the same kind of theme with the covers, a little more tame, just a small couple, and then kind of like an atmospheric shot. But I think these are actually really pretty covers, and they're a little bit newer on the, you know, cover front. And the last book, which I have never heard of this author or the book or anything, but I had to pick up and show you guys because this has got to be like my favorite cover out of all of them, just because it's a really pretty, beautifully illustrated, but also a little crazy, a little cuckoo. So it's called Wild Bells to the Wild Sky by Laurie McBain. I actually, now that I'm saying it, I think I have heard of Laurie McBain. So here's the cover, and you got a lot going on. I mean, you got like a panther, you got your couple, there's a parrot. It looks like they're on a tropical island of some form. I know nothing about this book. The tagline says, "Beyond riches and glory was the radiant splendor of love." And then in the back, you got a lot more going on. You've got like the queen down here. You've got her riding on a horse, a ship. There's a lot going on this book. If anyone knows anything about this, let me know. But I kind of want to read this just to see what all this is about, because there's a lot going on, and clearly it was a favorite if it was still left on her shelf. So that's one that I'm really intrigued by, just because I haven't heard of it. So I don't know if maybe I just haven't heard of that author, or maybe she doesn't have quite as many books as some of the others. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna end the video there. So those were just kind of some of the books I wanted to share with you guys. I just thought it would be kind of interesting to look back at some of my grandma's favorites. I feel really lucky to have them and to have them on my shelf, just as kind of I don't know, a token, a reminder, and I definitely want to pick up a couple of them. I think, you know, even just to look at like the evolution of the romance novel from, you know, the 70s to the 90s to now, they've changed so much, but also these were kind of where a lot of the romances we know today started, especially a lot of the historicals and things like that. So I think it's really interesting to look at, and hopefully you guys found this video kind of interesting. I just thought it would be kind of fun to share. So let me know what you guys think about these covers. I know there's very decisive things. Have you read any of them? I know some people love some of the more traditional authors. Some people don't love them so much. But let me know if you guys have read any of them or what your feelings are on them. And I would love to know and chat about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.